The next thing I want to show you is the electrical things that I use and I find invaluable. Apart from our hob and oven, my prized possession is my mixer. This is a Kenwood mixture. I think it's a 510. It's a bit of everything. Is this? So this saves me. I've got arthritis in my hands, so this saves me an awful lot. It's got a button at the side. It's a bit difficult to show you on here, but it presses up. It's got a lid on the dish. The dish just you just spin the dish and it comes off. It's got a lid if you're doing anything like icing sugar or things like that. You've got a whisk. This attaches just underneath. You've got an ordinary mixer for beating cakes and things like that, so that again under there. And you also have a bread hook. These are very strong, very durable, last a lifetime thing. This is about, I think you can get them about £100 now, but it depends where you go. I think this is about £150 because it's got all the attachment, but you can just buy the mixer. So these are the attachments that go with it. Sorry about the noise. And you just pop that down and you can do all your mixing. You've also got a funnel that you can add eggs or whatever you want to add. You can, it's got 5 different settings and a maximum. It's got minimum, then 2, 3, 4, 5 and then a maximum. So I keep mine plugged in all the time. It sits in the corner. It's not something I put away because it's very heavy, and if I want it I can just pull it forward, use it, wash it, put it back, and I use it all the time. So if you're going to buy something like this, you're going to invest £150, maybe £200. You can pay up to £600 for something like this. Keep it somewhere that you're going to use it, because if you've got to drag it out of the cupboard, put it together, you're not going to use it, and that's why this stays out all the time. So it's got the settings, it's got an off, minimum, up to 5, then a maximum and a pulser. So I won't keep it running because it's quite noisy, but the pulser you can use like that. So that in itself is just wonderful and I absolutely love it. But you can also pop this top off and you can fit on the liquidizer, and then when you're not using it you just pop this top back on like that. Nothing will work if you take this top off. Nothing will work unless you put the blender straight in. On this one you just push this back and you have a place to put your food processor. These are the graters. Now you can see I said I've never grated anything. Look, everything's still in its packages. All the different graters and slicers. I've no doubt that's a grater as well. They've never been out of the package. There's also a juicer which I've never used. I have no idea what that is. I do obviously keep the book and everything, but don't know what they are. And this will not work, this won't work while you've got the top on unless you put on the processor, which I think is a great safety feature because you could have left something in there and everything's there. So I do think this is about £150 to £200 because it's got the processor, it's got the blender. Well worth the money. If you're serious about baking, please have one of these, because if every day you're beating cakes, you're going to have muscle, one muscle, like I don't know what. So I'm just going to pop that back there. These are all the things that go with it, as you can see. The next thing is scales. I have electronic scales. They just take a little square battery. You pop it on. It goes from nothing to 0. That's in ounces. You can then skip it on this one and then you've got grams, and you can just switch it off, which it's got a mind of its own. It switches off when it wants. This is a Salter electronic. It was probably about £15. I've had it for 20 years at least. I just renew the battery when it needs it. Also I have a kettle. We've all got a kettle or some kind of way of warming water up. but a kettle is what you need. I forgot to show you this before, invest in a decent ice cube tray, because this is used for all sorts, things putting in the freezer obviously, but just things like mince in water for mint sauces and things like that. I bought this one. It was quite expensive. It's made in, doesn't tell me what make it is, but it was quite expensive, but because it's got like a softer bottom, these push out lovely, and they're round, a bit different from the ordinary square ice cream trays. The only other thing I've got, again, this is a Kenwood. I've had this for, I don't know how long, I've had it for years. I use this all the time for soups, frothing up milk, sometimes for beating eggs. It's just the general Kenwood mixer. It doesn't say what wattage it is or anything like that. Oh, it's 180 watts, extra slim. It actually came with a long plastic, like glass thing, which probably disappeared about 2 years later. It's just a plug-in. Every household nowadays has got one. It's got the small thing. This one is quite good because it's quite a heavy one, and it's good for grinding nuts and things like that, which I don't do very often, but it does the job. So that's the Kenwood pulser. Is that what they call it? I honestly don't know what they call it. Basically, that's generally. I know I didn't expect this video to be so long, but that's basically what I use. There's nothing fantastic. The only expensive thing is the mixer, but you can live without it because I've only had this about 4 years. Didn't have a mixer before. I had a handheld one. Do you know what I mean? And I've used that for doing cakes with. It's not fantastically good, but I've had a handheld one. Nowadays, this is my sort of little godsend. But you don't need all this. You can buy some scales from a pound shop. You can measure by cup. You don't need that. Processor, yes, they're fantastic. Blender, yes, they're fantastic. And but it's something that you sort of aspire towards. So I didn't expect it to be long, but basically these are the things that I use. These are the things that basic stuff that you're going to need if you're serious about baking, or if you're just getting married, or you know, you just putting things together. So I hope everybody's well. Thumbs up if you like the video, and please subscribe. Thanks for watching. Bye.